Hello again. There's a delicate but discordant balance struck between what we know to be true on any given day and what we believe or trust and hope to be true for an eternity. Voting is the foundation of our democracy. This, however, was not always the case. Our democracy was, at its beginning, in many ways limited and undemocratic. Initially, only propertied white men were allowed to vote. Since then, there has been a gradual expansion of voting rights, granting this right to unpropertied white men, then to African Americans, and lastly to women. American democracy is not perfect by any means, but we the people hold the reins in making this process more perfectible. The course of voting rights in American history is the reality of what a long and arduous struggle we have been engaged in to try to correct the wrongs and injustices that have transpired over so many decades. Sadly, however, many states today are unrelenting in their pursuit to reintroduce those wrongs and injustices through the growing roles of big money in politics, gerrymandering, and the emergence of lobbyists to push forward the agendas of special interest groups. True democracy stands for and promotes the equal rights of all citizens. Every citizen has a responsibility and a duty to vote on election day. We cannot afford to wait for the last judgment, for that judgment seems to be taking place every day. We as citizens have a responsibility to be biased towards the pursuit of fairness and equality. We are responsible for preserving our liberties while rectifying those inequalities that threaten our democracy. We are the guardians of democracy. Now, I realize that some may say, it's my right not to vote if I should choose so. You may be correct in that virtual assessment. If you are frustrated or unhappy with the top of the ticket, that may be understandable, but only to a certain point. The reality is there's a bigger picture we all need to realize about our democratic process. I would hope that assessment of electing not to vote at all would be also to take into consideration the principles of fairness regarding those candidates in the middle and those at the bottom of the ticket. Electing not to vote at all is like cutting your nose off to spite your face. I implore you not to go down this road, as this decision will only guarantee further erosion of the process to the detriment of those willing to participate in the realm of public service. Yes, we live in a perilous world today, not because there are evil people, but because of those citizens who do not stand up to do anything about it. To be content and to think about being content are not the same thing. By definition, contentment is not thought out. If we remain content today, rest assured that tomorrow you may find yourself without a right to vote. We cannot afford to live as a nation within a nation, leaving the decisions to those in reckless pursuit of their own agendas that overtakes and drives the rest of us to our graves. Our country's future is reflected in the eyes and points of view of all its citizens. If we and our nation are to continue on a course of progress, not only do we need exceptional leadership at the national and state government levels, we need committed citizens with the aid of a free press, to act as watchdogs for our democracy and our rights. So, as we prepare for election 2016, it is up to us as citizens to dare to be great. When we cast our votes on November 8, we must be bold, for we can no longer adhere to the status quo of politicians taking campaign contributions from the very rich and votes from the very poor on the pretense that they are protecting each from the other. Vote as if your life depended on it, because your future certainly does. Our right to vote is undeniable, is consequential, is sustainable, and must never be taken for granted. It is our responsibility to continue to close the gap between reality and ideals as American citizens. For all of those who fought to gain the right to vote for the rest of us, we owe it to them and ourselves to demonstrate that each of us understands that this sacred right comes with obligations that we should never, ever forget. We should treasure those forever. For one to sit out an election, and this election in particular, would be nothing less than an act of total disdain, disrespect, and dishonor for all the achievements gained for voting rights by all of those who struggled, sacrificed, and died for us to gain this precious right we all share today. It would be un-American for us to allow this to happen. So, this Tuesday, November 8, make certain that you exercise your right to vote. I'll see you at the polls. Thank you.